Well, America, we just hit another milestone. 250 years old? Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be celebrating right now. But the milestone I'm talking about may be a milestone that actually is going to bring this beautiful republic of 250 years, what's that, a quarter of a millennia? Yeah, maybe bring us down. Maybe it's bring us down to our knees, or at least it'll be part of what brings us ultimately down in this country. I've been worried about it for years. Yeah, I'm talking about, yes, $40 trillion national debt. Finally, we hit it. We told you it was coming. I mean, everybody knew it. I mean, wow. Yeah, so how are you going to spin that one, Donald Trump? Because, you know, if something happens on your watch, oh, hey, look how great I am. I'm so great. I'm so great. Look what I did. Well, no, buddy, this happened on your watch, and you were president before, and you added to the debt then, too, especially with all that COVID crap. And, you know, boy, that's interesting, too, isn't it, folks? I hope you're all having a great summer, but this is a sad, sad milestone. And if these bozos and bozettes in Washington don't get this under control, I mean, this is going to be one of the things that may actually bring us down. You know, I think so many Americans are just, they're asleep. You're asleep at the wheel. You know, you got your fun things you do in the weekends, or your sports, and your, you know, this and your that, and your shopping and your porn and your video games, and you're doing this and that, and you're taking your vacation, and you just think you're all entitled to this. This all came at the expense of other people. I mean, you know that, right? The rest of the world does not enjoy all this. I know you lefties love to rip on America. And by the way, you lefties, who's this guy? Piker? Hans Piker? I can't even know. I don't know what his freaking name is. It's not important. He's not important. What is he? Cenk Uygur's nephew, whatever. And all the left like this guy. And you're cheering. Just go away. All of you hard lefties. If you don't like America, go away. I can rip on America. And you should rip on America, again, from a real point of view, from the, I call it the right wing. But if you don't like that, it's fine. Common sense, reason. And you know what, you lefties, we do have some areas I think we can kind of, you know, we may have some common ground here. You want an example? Boom, data centers. That's one that's got a lot of people, regardless of your political persuasion, a lot of people are going, wait, what? Wait, what? They're building this, and you're going to need this much electricity and this much water to keep things cool. And wait, what are we doing? And why are we doing this? And why is it being pushed so hard by leadership in both parties? Yeah, Trump's a part of this too. You got to ask yourself. But $40 trillion in debt. You know, is it ever going to be paid off? I mean, I don't know, folks. I've been hoping for years they could just stop the bleeding. You know, I've tried to point out here, you know, me, who am I? Jay, your buddy Jay. I'm nothing. I'm nobody. I'm not important. But I'm telling you the truth, aren't I? We haven't had an annual balanced budget. You know, the budget for the year by the government, federal government, since what, last year, Bill Clinton? I mean, look it up if I'm wrong. So what's that been, 25, 26 years? Well, what? And some people say those weren't totally balanced. But for sake of argument, let's say the last 2 years of Bill Clinton, his presidency, which I think he had a Republican Congress he dealt with, they got that part right. And I don't know if there were lots of attrition going on. People were retiring. They were in high-paying government military position, whatever it was, or if there was sort of a peace dividend going on in the world at that point in time. Maybe we were able to cut some military spending. I forget what it all was about. Obviously, you know, gas prices were very low in the late 1990s, and we had this new thing, the internet, you know, with the computers, and you know, so it was exciting to have this new technology which would revolutionize the economy. So you had a lot of things were, you know, looking positive at that point in time, and we had, I think, 2 years of nearly, if not completely, annual balanced budgets. And then you know what's happened since then. It's gone through the roof. Military spending, obviously, has been a big chunk of this. But now we've seen, and more and more comes out, how much waste, fraud, and abuse there are for so many stupid Democrat programs. Yeah, Democrats, if you really care about some of these programs, why would you want there to be fraud there? Don't you want them to be cleaned up so it works efficiently, so it helps the people who are supposed to be downtrodden that you say you want to help? Why would you want foreigners of any group to come in here and take advantage and ruin any of those things? Why, Democrats? Why? Just please, views and comments below. If you hate me or whatever, fine. But why? So there's a lot to be worried about here. And then we got, Donald Trump. And, I kind of was a supporter. I have admitted to voting for the guy, but just because he was a lesser of the evils, lesser of the weasels, But total disappointment. All this bragging, we've decimated Iran, Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz. What? You've wasted a bunch of money. We've had some American soldiers die. You've probably killed a lot of Iranians. I mean, that's not high on my list, but I don't want us doing that unless we have to. And what have you solved? I mean, it doesn't seem we have this control of the Strait of Hormuz, sir. Doesn't seem we have it. Doesn't seem we decimated or annihilated anybody. So what's the plan here? I don't know. And then we have the midterms coming up, because we're recording this now at the end of the summer of 2026. So it's just 2 months away, basically, 2.5 months away. In the midterms, I mean, are the Democrats going to take back control? Are they going to take the House? Are they going to flip a couple seats in the Senate? Because the Senate's kind of funny, folks, because not all senators, even Republicans, are not all Trumpians. They're not. So we got an interesting situation in the Senate. I mean, what is going to happen here? And I hope you all get out and vote. Again, I don't know who you're going to vote for. It's a sad state of affairs all around. But $40 trillion national debt. And then Trump's just recently asking for more military money. What about the money he spent last year? What about the money was spent 2 years ago? And then what's his face? Idiot Biden, he spent money too. What about all that money? What about what was bought with that? It can't all be junk. It can't all be useless stuff. What is all this? Why? This is, folks, you got to look at this and say, hey, 40 trillion. I mean, a lot of us, we're never going to see it paid off. This is going to go to your grandkids or great-grandkids, or the kids you don't even have, you don't even have this kin yet. But, they're going to be born with all this debt on their head. Are you okay with that? Don't just do this point and finger crap. This military thing is insane. We always are going to have a big military budget. I get it. But this bad? And then Doge and all that BS from Elon Musk and the president, they never got into the Pentagon. They never really got in there. Trump did an about face with that one. Oh, well, China, I don't know. China made some threats. I don't know. What? What is wrong with you, sir? Yeah. He's not going to finish his term, folks. I just say that right now. People, Trump 2028. Well, I don't know. Is Ivanka running? Is Jared going to, his name is Kushner. He's going to name his name Jared Trump? I don't know. There's Don Jr. or Eric or Barron will be too young still, but oh my goodness. Maybe Melania will run, right? Maybe she'll be the girl in pearls. I don't know. Because that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get a woman president for the first time in 2028. But anyway, regardless of all this, 40 trillion, folks, we can get a hold of it. I don't know that you're going to pay it off. We can get a hold of it because at some point you got to understand there's a game here, and the world is going to stop buying our bonds at some point. And it's going to get ugly. And then you're going to feel it. See, what's happened in America is we have this huge credit card where we work with the Fed. They're not really federal, but nonetheless, however you want to believe it. They just keep printing, okay? And then we keep spending. And, of course, the money becomes worth less and less. And then we go deeper into debt. And everybody says, I don't know. It's the Democrats. It's Republicans. It's like a couple pieces of, I don't want to be gross, they're going down the toilet bowl, just pointing at each other. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. Yeah, that's our reality here, what's going to happen. Because at some point, the chickens will come home to roost. You will feel this. All of this that they've done for years. And you keep voting the Pelosi's back in. Lindsey Graham just died. Okay, Mitch McConnell, he's holding on. And Susan Collins, she's, they're all still, they're still clinging. They still want to be there forever and ever and ever. And that one guy in South Carolina, too, what's his name? Clyburn? How old is that guy? Oh, my gosh. I mean, I'm the guy who doesn't always like limits and things and blah, blah, blah. But I think, I think there are some age limits you're supposed to be in the House and even maybe in the Senate. The president, I think you got to be 35. Maybe my buddy Logan's right. Maybe at 75, we should say, if you grandfather it over, whatever, a little bit, that's fine. But maybe 75, you should stop. That's it. You got to stop running. That's good. For president, Senate, anything, just that's enough. And then there are some spry 75-year-olds, but whatever. This is insane. This is insane to the membrane. And lefties, you don't like me and I don't like you, but there's some common ground here. And maybe people on the right need to wake the frick up. Maybe it's been talked about, maybe some means testing. If people have a net worth of, say, 10 million, I don't know, maybe you give up your Social Security. Call it a wealth tax. I don't know. Call it whatever you want to call it. But the entitlement programs, the military, and then you got Trump, I want to build a ballroom. I want to build this statue thing. I want to do this. I do the water, the pond. I mean, what is wrong with this guy? Has this guy ever heard of austerity? I mean, real life austerity, cutting things, cutting the fat out. This Doge thing was a joke. This is like the thing with Reagan going back 40-something years ago. Well, this guy, Peter Grace, the Grace Commission, and he was supposed to find all this fat, and he did. They found a bunch of gross overexpenditures. And then I make the joke here, but I don't know. Maybe it's not the joke. Maybe the military thing is all because you people can't handle the space aliens are real. And a portion of that budget goes to secretive things, and they get to black it out because national security. Kind of interesting, isn't it, folks? The last, 80 or almost 80 years, everything since World War II, you have World War II, and you had all these guys going, whoa, wait a minute, we got all this military, and wait a minute, we got all this money, and we can't let this thing go. It's a golden goose. We got to keep it going. We got to have the Soviets as the enemy, and then we'll got to do all the secret government on our own. Presidents and the senators and the people in the House, they won't know exactly what we're doing, and we're going to do our own thing over here. I don't know. That's what's been going on for basically about 80-ish years, almost 80 years. Roswell happened in 1947. Israel was created, in 1948. The CIA was created after World War II, wasn't it? Central Intelligence Agency, because got to protect the world. National security, or we're gonna have a spy network. See, before that, it was the OSS. Okay, and that eventually became the CIA. And everything after that, just, the Soviets, no, we got it bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's never really stopped, folks. It's never really stopped. I mean, film director Oliver Stone, I know he's not maybe some brilliant guy about military affairs or budgetary things, but he's talked about it. The military-industrial complex. Dwight D. Eisenhower, okay? He was a military guy. He was like a 5-star general. He warned about it, okay? This is a big thing. This is a big thing, folks. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous it's gone on this far. It's ridiculous that Trump wants more money today now for military. What have we been spending money on? I look at everything and say, well, if you want to be a hawk, you want to, annihilate people, well, we haven't done anything since Japan. Oh, you're unpatriotic, Jay. Am I? I'm just saying. What the fuck? What the hell did we do in Vietnam? That was terrible. 58,000 young men. These guys were just like 18, 19 years old, some of them. Just out of high school. Sent them to be slaughtered. For what? For what? We just could have made it a parking lot. Afghanistan. What was that? All that money spent. We never stopped the drugs coming out of there either. Could have just made that a parking lot. If you believe in Osama bin Laden and all that 9/11 stuff, if you believe, just made a parking lot. Like I said, what happened with Japan? They bowed. We took out Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and we said, Tokyo's next, baby. What do you want to do? And they were still acting real defiant and everything, and supposedly, we were going to take out Tokyo. But they bowed. They bowed. What have we been doing since then? If you're a hawk, I'm just saying, if you're a hawk, okay, because I'm not a hawk, but you got to prepare to be a hawk. It's an ugly world out there. We have stupid Korea, stupid Vietnam, stupid Bush in the Middle East. All this nonsense. And now Trump, he's not a man of peace. He lied. He's a neocon surrounded by all other neocons, and they're going to keep going with Iran. And what's going to happen in Iran? I want to be wrong. I just want to get this clear. Is other players are going to get in here, folks. You know it. And they're starting to do it a little bit. Iran even, has shot at other players here, and you're going to get other people involved, and it's going to get ugly. And I'm telling you, watch Erdogan, watch Turkey. I don't know if they're going to be the ones. Who knows? Maybe it's Pakistan. Something is going to happen. There's interesting alliances being made on the global stage right now. Watch this stuff. Maybe watch a little less of your stupid sports, okay? Oh, yeah, how about that? Tony Romo, yeah, former Dallas Cowboy, pride of Burlington, Wisconsin, gets pulled over. What the hell's wrong with you, Tony Homo sapien? Oh, buddy. Oh, all right, I digress. What a mess, folks. 40 trillion national debt, huge military that we don't really use. I know people are going to, well, okay, we play these games where we act like we're going to do this and that, but we don't ever just really go in and take people down. Because that's what we do with Japan. And you know what they did? They bowed. And they like Elvis, rock and roll. Yeah, baseball. Pro frickin' wrestling. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, they have their sumo wrestling, blah, blah, blah. No, they got a big time in pro wrestling. It's very big over there. They've had big matches and wrestling cards in the Egg Dome over there. It's a big arena. And we've had a good relationship with Japan. Isn't that crazy? Nobody ever talks about that. We talk about all the hatred in the Middle East between the Arabs and the Jews and blah, 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 blah. But even there's times that some of that history gets mixed up and messed up too. And a lot of Arabs against Arabs and Arabs against Persians. It's a lot of, the world's been a messy place. But how interesting, in the last 80 years, we had an enemy, we had a brutal battle, horrible things happened in the Pacific Rim, during World War II, horrible things. And, eventually, we made them bow. And then we came in with a bunch of money and rebuilt them and then their economy and everything. And then, they're a little funny. There's parts of Tokyo you go to, you're not Ichiban, you're Gaijin, you're a foreigner. They don't want you in certain places. But anyway, we got a good relationship with Japan today, and I don't know what's going on with Trump. He's ripping to the South Koreans recently because he doesn't want to offend Kim Jong-un, the North Korean guy. But wait a minute, the North Korean guy, he's been lobbing missiles over Japan into the ocean, kind of flexing his muscles. How does Japan feel about Trump talking nice about, Rocket Man, Kim Jong-un, whatever the hell his name is, I don't know, Fat Boy. Yeah. What's that all about? He's a communist, Trump. You know that, right? He's a communist, right? Oh, so many things happening here, folks. In the summer, look at the splits in both Republicans and Democrats as we go into the midterm season now. I mean, isn't it interesting? We have people in each party has this faction that is really critical of Israel, Each party has it. It's a split. The Republicans are all the sycophants. And I listen to a lot of them. And I like some of them most of the time. So they're disappointing me so much in the past year or so. Larry Elder, Sean Thompson, Dan Proft. I hate Mike Gallagher now. Oh, he would hate him. There's a whole bunch of them that work for Salem or these other things, Cumulus and... they're just horrible. They all just kiss Israel's ass. Israel never could do anything wrong. Why can't we criticize them? Why? You think you think he's doing a great job, huh? You think he's perfect? What about October 7th? What about Bibi's and his administration and his military and their intelligence? What about their role? I mean, I thought Israel was this ultra secure place. Did any heads roll? Did anybody get fired there? That was a horrible thing that happened. October 7th, what was that? Is it 2023? Horrible thing, yeah. So what? You're not taking any of that out on Bibi? It's kind of like here with W and 9/11. I mean, how that idiot got reelected in 2004. Think about that. You failed. 3,000 people died here on our soil, and you got rewarded with another election. It's all true. And he had a Clintonista on board, George Tenet. George Tenet comes from the Bill Clinton administration, the prior administration. Yeah. When he finally left, what did he give him? $multi-million book deal, and Bush gave him some big Medal of Freedom thing. Oh. Is this the 1990s, every kid gets a trophy thing on steroids or what? I mean, we've talked about a lot of this in the past. I don't mean to be repetitive. We've hit 40 trillion. That's our national debt. We're going in the midterms, folks. So many people don't even vote. It's pathetic. Don't be apathetic. Get out there and vote. I know you don't got much to vote for. If there's a third party person, give them your vote if you can't stand the Republican or the Democrat. We look at the Republicans now. Like I said, Trump he's not a leader, and you got to wonder with him, and you got to wonder with all the presidents, are they all compromised? Does somebody have them by the cojones? You got to wonder. You really do. I tell you. And then the Democrats. I mean, look at these dweebs, these just scumbags. I mean, come on, folks. There's two people on the left. It's only those right-wing men. It's only those men in the Republican. No. There's scumbags everywhere. You want proof? Let's talk about proof. Coast to coast, who's got the most? Oh, the Democrats. Graham Plattner in Maine. That's your East Coast, baby. Yeah, what happened to his Senate campaign? He's going after Susie Collins. I brought her up before. Yeah. What? No, it's somebody else now because... well, you can look up the story if you want. Some dirt came out. It's amazing. Some dirt came out. And then over on the other coast, the left coast, the west coast, Eric Swalwell. He thought he was going to be a governor. You'll never be a governor, Eric. You're a piece of garbage. Because Gavin Newsom can't run again. I guess they get term limits or whatnot. And he thought he was going to be the Democrat nominee. A lot of money was behind him. People knew. They knew this guy would get on top of anything. He'll hump anything that moves. I mean, this guy, what a sicko. Look him up. You don't believe me. Eric Swalwell. Yeah. And you know what? He also resigned from the House, too. That's how bad it was. Yeah. So, Eric and Graham. And then there's this dweeb who's running for Congress in Hawaii. Kirill? Is that Kirill Basin? Wait, what's your name? Kirill? Kirill. I'm 40 years old. I'm not a child. Yes, you kind of are a child, buddy. I don't care how chronologically old you are. Look this dude up. He got his ass kicked at the beach. He was playing music too loud. The people asked him to turn it down. He said no. And then these people kept complaining. And finally, he started to get really weird and threaten these people. Yeah, Kirill, nice job. Yeah, you should be in Congress. Oh, yeah. And he starts telling this woman, I've got a gun and I'll put you in the ground. I mean, allegedly, these are the things he said. Like, what the hell? And finally, somebody comes along and they had enough and they punched him. I think right in the throat, and Kirill went down. You can go find this on the internet. Again, Democrat congressman in Hawaii, fight at the beach. You'll find it there. I think his name is Kirill Basin. If I got it wrong, I got it wrong because he's really not important in the big picture. But Democrats, you've got a lot of pathetic people. You got a lot of things you need to clean up. On your side of the aisle, Republicans, same thing. And long-term, folks, we're going down. We're going down. If you don't get in the game, you don't start to care. We got to get old school. We got to fight these data centers. We've got to come together on some issues here. And no country, be it Israel. I don't care what your silly religious beliefs are. And there is a true religion, by the way. And we'll go down some of those rabbit holes in future shows. But if you believe that we're supposed to protect this land, blah, 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 well, people are using you. They're using your goodwill, and they're misguiding you, and we'll cover that in some future shows. But no country, not Israel, not China, not Argentina, not the Saudis, not Saudi Arabia, none of them. Nobody should have any great amount of control over the United States of America. We need to be an independent, sovereign nation. Okay? Okay. That's what we need to do, folks. I don't know. Are we ever going to get control of our budgetary problems? Are we ever? Please, Congress, please. And if you just hate America, some of you people in Congress and the president, just step aside, please. Someone else, maybe we'll get someone else better in there to replace you. Yeah, some of you had, 20, 30, some even 40-year runs. You've been in the House and you get a senator and you just won't leave. You just won't go away. And again, if we had balanced budgets and we didn't have a national debt, and by the way, with that huge national debt, let's go back to Ross Perot, okay? He was a con man. I fell for him. That's 35 years ago, but almost 35. But the point is, it was $4 trillion back then. Four. Now we're at 40. And what do we have to show for it? We got a lot of rich people. We got a bunch of homes, and we got a bunch of space programs. Although they won't say there's aliens are for real, although they're getting closer to telling us they're for real. The tone has changed a bit. We got this huge military, but as I said, we don't really use it. We should use it with like one hand behind our back. It's kind of annoying, you know. I don't know. Anyway, folks, it is what it is. As they say, it's very sad, and lots more great shows to come. A lot more controversies to come. So many controversies. So little time. But we will get to them all eventually. Have a great summer here at the very end of summer. I hope you can have a little bit of a nice time here as Labor Day weekend's coming up and whatnot. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your friends and your family and time we have together, because we don't know. We don't know what's coming next, folks. We'll see what happens. The Democrats, they're looking at a bunch of conspiracies. Listen to them. They all think that Trump's going to pull something for the midterms. And me, I'm going, Trump, you're an idiot. You're gonna piss off enough Republicans who will stay home, and they're not going to turn and vote Democrat. Many of them, but if they don't get out and vote, then you're going to lose. And then why are you going to want to be in office? But as my friend Logan says, I don't know, maybe it's all in the script, man. Maybe it's all like a movie. Maybe it's all laid out there, And we're just the little people here trying to figure out what in the wide world of sports is going on. So, all right, take care. We love you. God bless.